Fact 1. Around 2 million years ago, 6 different human species existed on this Earth. Scientists call them the human species. Fact 2. Out of all of them, only Homo sapiens survived. The other 5 species gradually vanished. Today, the entire lineage of humans that lives on Earth comes only from Homo sapiens. Fact 3. It was these Homo sapiens who possessed the power that made them capable of ruling the whole world. Fact 4. But humans were not the first to appear on this Earth. Long before us, many giant creatures lived here. Yet with the passage of time, they all disappeared. Friends, when you listen to the summary of this book on BookBlink, you will discover secrets that you might never have read even in your school textbooks. Author Yuval Noah Harari has deeply studied humans and life on Earth. And that is why Sapiens not only reveals our strengths, but also reminds us of our responsibilities. Now imagine a picture. A mother caring for her children. Kids are playing, the young are showing their strength, and the elders are sitting peacefully, watching everything. Looking at this, it's clear that humans have always been social beings. They love living in groups, sharing life together, and building relationships. The uniqueness of humans lies in their emotions, friendship and love, respect and jealousy, anger and hatred, and above all, competition. But here's the question. Are humans the only ones like this? Elephants, monkeys, and chimpanzees also live in social groups. So what makes humans special? The answer is our ability to think and imagine. Scientists have classified living beings into species and genus. For example, a horse and a donkey can produce a mule, but the mule cannot reproduce further. Dogs like bulldogs and spaniels can breed and produce puppies, and their lineage continues. Lions, leopards, cheetahs, and tigers all belong to the Panthera genus. And humans? We are Homo sapiens. Homo is our genus, and sapiens is our species, meaning the wise beings. Now let's talk about the other human species, Homo neanderthalensis, the Neanderthals Homo erectus, the upright walking humans, Homo floresiensis, the short-statured humans of Flores Island. All of them were part of the human family, just like us. But time and circumstances erased them. And today, the entire Earth is left only with us, Homo sapiens. Think about it. Nearly 6 million years ago, a female ape gave birth to 2 offspring. One continued the lineage of chimpanzees. The other continued the lineage of humans, which means we and chimpanzees are actually cousins. This story is not just about humans, but about the struggle for survival. And in this struggle, the real weapon was our thinking, our understanding, and our imagination. That is the power which set us apart from all other species. And that is the very power that made us the rulers of this Earth. Thousands of years ago, a strange species of Homo floresiensis appeared. These people were extremely small in height, growing only up to about 1 meter tall and weighing around 25 kilograms. Though tiny in size, their population gradually increased. Over time, they began making stone tools for hunting. Not only that, but these small humans were also capable of hunting massive creatures like elephants. While human expansion was spreading outside Africa, groups in East Africa were also evolving rapidly. They came to be known as Homo rudolfensis, the man from Lake Rudolph, and Homo ergaster, the working man. Gradually, in this journey of evolution, our own species emerged, Homo sapiens, the wise humans. What's fascinating is that all these species, Neanderthals, Homo soloensis, Homo floresiensis, Homo erectus, Homo ergaster, and Homo sapiens, all coexisted on Earth during the same time period. This era stretched from about 2 million years ago to nearly 10,000 years ago. Now think about it. Just as animals have different species, why wouldn't humans also have multiple species? But the real question is, why did only Homo sapiens survive in the end? The answer goes back about 150,000 years ago. At that time, the sapiens living in East Africa were cut off from the rest of the world. They were hunter-gatherers, surviving by hunting. Eventually, they discovered fire. Fire changed everything. They could now cook food and scare away dangerous animals. Scientists believe that the sapiens of that age looked almost exactly like us. Cooking made chewing easier, their jaws became smaller, but their brain size was just like ours. If their skeletons were found today, a pathologist would hardly notice any difference. Around 70,000 years ago, these sapiens left East Africa, crossed the Arabian Peninsula, and moved into Europe and Asia. There, they discovered that Neanderthals and other human species were already settled. What happened next? Scientists have two main theories. One, the interbreeding theory. According to this, the sapiens who left Africa interbred with Neanderthals and other species, creating new offspring. 2. The replacement theory. According to this, sapiens fought with Neanderthals and gradually wiped them out completely. If the replacement theory is true, it would mean that the very first genocide in human history was committed by Homo sapiens. But in 2010, genetic research changed the picture. Scientists discovered that in today's Europeans and Arabs, nearly 4% of their DNA comes from Neanderthals. This means the truth may lie somewhere in between the two theories. Sapiens did fight with Neanderthals, but they also at times interbred with them, creating new generations. That's why even today our DNA carries the echoes of that ancient merging, telling us the forgotten story of survival, conflict, and coexistence. The tree of knowledge. 70,000 to 30,000 years ago, a major turning point arrived in human history, the cognitive revolution. It was during this time that the true empire of the human mind began. Humans not only spread across land, but also crossed seas, reaching as far as Australia. They built boats, invented the bow and arrow, crafted lamps, and even made needles for sewing. For the first time, art was also born during this era. The famous Stadel Lion Man statue discovered in Germany, carved from mammoth ivory with a lion's head and a human body, was not just artwork. It was proof that humans had now stepped into the world of religion and belief. Homo sapiens had a unique gift. They could think about things that did not exist in reality. But how did this happen so suddenly? Scientists believe that somewhere in their brains, a genetic mutation occurred. Their neurons began a new game, and their intelligence expanded rapidly. Why this mutation did not happen in Neanderthals still remains a mystery. The greatest gift of this revolution was language. Yes, other species also make sounds. Ants, bees, and monkeys warn each other. A lion is coming, or an eagle is above. But the language of sapiens was far deeper, far more complex. And this language was not limited to reality. It could describe imaginary things, myths, legends, gods, spirits. For the first time, sapiens gave words to an invisible world. Tribes would say, "The lion spirit protects our people." That was their god. But could you ever convince a monkey by saying, "Give me your banana and in the next life you'll earn blessings"? Of course not. But humans could believe in imaginary stories and trust them. And this power of imagination transformed small groups into larger societies. A chimpanzee group can hold at most 50 members, but sapiens could live together in groups of 150. And then came the real magic. Beyond 150, thousands, even millions of people could unite, only by believing in a shared myth. Religion, nations, corporations, all of these are human-made fictions. You cannot touch them, you cannot see them. And yet, billions believe in them. The word corporation comes from the Latin corpus, meaning body. But a company is not just an office or a product. It is a belief, a collective faith. Steve Jobs is no more, but Apple is still alive. Bill Gates is no longer CEO, yet Microsoft continues. This was the superpower of sapiens. This was the ability that allowed us to spread across the earth, surpass all other species, and reach where we are today. Because, friends, a monkey understands trees, rivers, and tigers. But heaven, religion, nations, money, these belong to the realm of imagination. And it is this very imagination that makes us human. The flood. Book Blink. Before the cognitive revolution, Homo sapiens lived only in Africa, Europe, and Asia. They did not yet have the ability to cross the seas. That's why, until then, there was no trace of humans in America, Australia, Madagascar, or New Zealand. Nature, plants, and animals in those lands thrived undisturbed for millions of years. But once sapiens developed new thinking and better tools, everything changed. They built boats, crossed oceans, and reached places where no human had ever set foot before. Around 45,000 years ago, sapiens reached Australia. No human had ever touched that land before. Scientists say that while living in Indonesia, they became skilled seafarers, and it was this mastery that carried them all the way to Australia. At first, the land was completely alien to them, but within just 2,000 years, they transformed the entire continent, placing themselves at the very top of the food chain. When sapiens first arrived, they saw creatures beyond their imagination. Giant kangaroos weighing nearly 200 kilos. A strange lion species called the marsupial lion with a pouch like a kangaroo. Huge tree-dwelling koalas, enormous flightless birds, and the largest marsupial to ever walk the earth, Diprotodon, weighing up to 2.5 tons, looking like a gigantic wombat. But in just 2,000 years, all of them disappeared. Scientists once argued that climate change was responsible, but 3 strong reasons prove otherwise. 1, Australia had already survived 10 ice ages before. Creatures like the Diprotodon had endured them all. Why not this time? 2, if climate were the real cause, marine life should have been affected too. But no such evidence exists. 3, this great extinction didn't just happen in Australia. Everywhere sapiens went, large animals slowly vanished. Take New Zealand, for example. Until just 800 years ago, it was home to giant birds and mammals. But as soon as humans settled there, they disappeared. The truth is this: large animals reproduce slowly. They have long pregnancies, fewer offspring, and long gaps between births. So when sapiens suddenly began hunting them, they had no chance to recover. Worse, those animals had never seen predators like humans before. They didn't even know how to defend themselves. The same tragedy later struck the giant creatures of the Americas. Around 16,000 years ago, humans reached there too. The only difference was that this time they didn't use boats. The sea levels were lower and they simply walked across, north to America. From northeastern Siberia to northwestern Alaska, there once existed a land bridge. But the greatest challenge for humans on this route was the biting cold. Temperatures often plunged to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Neanderthals never dared to cross, but sapiens were different. Smarter, more inventive. They made snowshoes, sewed warm clothing, and used animal hides and furs to survive the cold. With the needle, they had become true artisans. Archaeologists have found abundant evidence of this. Humans settled in Siberia became mammoth hunters. The mammoth wasn't just food, its tusks, hide, and fur were treasures. Even today, mammoth ivory is considered extremely valuable. Around 16,000 years ago, this desire to hunt pushed humans all the way to Alaska. The massive glaciers there, rivers of ice, kept blocking their path. Then the climate changed. The ice melted and the doors to America opened. Gradually, humans spread their settlements across the forests of Eastern America, the marshlands of the Mississippi, the greenery of Central America, the deserts of Mexico. Some settled along the Amazon, others reached the Andes valleys and the plains of Argentina. And imagine this: in just 2,000 years, sapiens had taken over the entire American continent. From Alaska to Canada, the United States, and Latin America, they were everywhere. They encountered astonishing creatures: mammoths and mastodons, bears the size of giant rodents, American camels and horses, gigantic lions, and the most famous predator of all, the saber-toothed cat. They even saw sloths 6 meters long and weighing 8 tons. But as humans arrived, these creatures gradually disappeared. Out of 47 large species in North America, 38 vanished. Out of 60 in South America, 50 were wiped out. Think about it. These animals had lived on this land for 30 million years. There was plenty of food, plenty of space, populations were growing. But the moment humans arrived, within a few thousand years, it all ended. Like mammoths, many birds, reptiles, rare insects, and smaller animals also disappeared. Fossils show their extinction occurred between 12,000 and 9,000 BC. After that, no trace remained. A harsh truth emerges. Wherever Homo sapiens went, the destruction of large animals followed. As we made a home for ourselves in the world, we were simultaneously destroying the homes, the entire species. of others forever. The animal that became a god. Book Blink. From the very beginning, the law of natural selection has governed life on Earth. From a simple bacterium to complex humans, every organism has evolved under this rule. But in the 21st century, sapiens did something that, until now, only gods could do. They used intelligent design to introduce new traits into living beings. Normally, a specific trait in an organism takes thousands of years to develop. Humans, however, began identifying genes and directly inserting desired traits into organisms. This is genetic engineering, a technology used since the 1970s in medicine and agriculture. In 2000, Brazilian artist Eduardo Koch conducted a remarkable experiment. He implanted a green fluorescent jellyfish gene into a dark rabbit and named it Alba, the world's first glow-in-the-dark rabbit. Science continued to advance. Today, with DNA mapping, we can even bring extinct species back to life. By taking the genome of a mammoth and implanting it into an elephant embryo, a new mammoth could be born, its first appearance in 5,000 years. In 2010, the Neanderthal genome was also mapped. In the future, a woman could act as a surrogate mother to give birth to the first Neanderthal child. With the Human Genome Project, we can now analyze all our genetic traits within weeks. Doctors can predict potential diseases, lung cancer, Alzheimer's, and more. But imagine, what if we start choosing superhuman strength, eternal youth, or even our child's eye color? The misuse of this technology is only a matter of time. Nature rarely allows anything that goes against it to last long. Conclusion. In this summary, we explored prehistory and the evolution of human species. We understood the interbreeding and replacement theories. We focused on the cognitive revolution and sapiens' unique ability to believe in things that didn't exist. We saw how large predators and prey disappeared with the arrival of humans. Today, we have better tools, food, clothing, and homes. But are we truly content and happy? Science and technology have given us power, but our hunger and greed have disrupted the balance of Earth. It's time to control our desires and appetite. Earth has given us so much, now it is our responsibility to protect it. Humans are the most intelligent and powerful beings on Earth. The respect we give ourselves must also extend to nature and other living creatures. And finally, we must honor and preserve the very planet that gave us life, our beautiful Earth.